683. This is the bill that I'm going to do a quick explanation of it real quick. Years ago, we did a bill that got rid of purse seines in most of the Mississippi Sound. Jackson County was not included in that original legislation. It was handled a little bit differently, but the supervisors have asked that be added back to this bill. So the only amendment to this code section is on line 13 that would just add Jackson County to the areas that are prohibited from using a purse seine. Are there any questions to that? The motion is title sufficient, do pass. All those in favor? Next, we'll go ahead and report that out. The next bill is 735, Department of Marine Resources. This is special need Marine Patrol Reserve officers. This is the same bill that we passed earlier in this session. There is no other changes to it. If you remember, this gives the department the authority to pay reserve officers for special events. Again, this is, and the director's here, and I want to make sure that I'm saying this. This is not new money that they use. There are a lot of these events that we have are paid for either by federal funds or by additional local funds. So this is not a call on additional funds or additional state funds for these purposes. But that's an explanation of the bill. Are there any questions to it? If there are no questions, motion is title sufficient, do pass. And that will move on to AET. House Bill 1441. Oh, I apologize. Yes, get a little ahead of myself. That will go to AET after this. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say no. Now we'll report that bill out. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1441, Airport Authorities. This is another double referred bill to AET. Again, this is dealing with in a situation where automobiles are left, or abandoned automobiles are left on airport property. It gives them the same authority that all other abandoned vehicles have. They just needed special authority for the airports to do that. There have been some questions that have come up on this. I'm going to work with some of the people to make sure that we understand what their concerns are, and then how can we address this before it comes out on the floor. But if there are any questions, I will yield at this time for this bill. If there are no questions,
have a motion.
The motion is title sufficient to pass. All those in favor? Any opposed? Hold on, question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quick question. It says that you want to authorize and empower the authorities to take possession of any motor vehicle that is abandoned or left upon the property. And that is, I'm taking it with proper notification that we've tried to contact them, or we had, with all of our attempts, we hadn't been able to contact them at all.
Yes, sir. And there's that is existing. There's a process by which you have to go through for that abandonment process, where you have to provide notification. You also have to find or follow state law in trying to contact the owner of it. And there's a process in which it goes by. And I don't remember exactly. I believe it is in this code section. Yeah, but the language itself, I was looking to see if it referenced it. Yeah, where you have to go and you have to follow a process that, and again, it starts with really on line 17 and rolls all the way through to the end of the bill. And again, this is a process that's very similar to what you have to do for like a municipality or a private landowner. That process is there. And when I looked up and referenced this before, it was the same notification processes for that. But there has been a question that has come up. And like I said, I'm going to follow through and make sure I understand that everything that's in this bill is consistent with what we've seen and what is required by other code sections. And I want to do that. The reason why they didn't reference that code section and come through here is that there is something in here that says that the authority may be able to use or retain the vehicle, and this is on line 39, for official airport use, but not limited to maintenance, security, or other operations. And again, that would be kind of an unusual circumstance. Most of the time that that when you go through that abandonment process, it's either auctioned off or it goes to some other process, but this gives them the authority to use that vehicle if it's a vehicle that would be of a certain, of a use or a type that would be needed in their airport operations.
Thank you. One last question. To be abandoned, did I read something about 90 days or so? What determines that vehicle being an abandoned vehicle? And if someone is hospitalized or something of that, is there a special, I guess, protocol to, handle special procedures like that?
Yes, let's see.
Just say if an individual.
Trying to find it real quick in here. No, that's for if I'm not mistaken, that is for any balance that is paid or that is owed for parking or the cost of towing or storage. And they're provided notice, they could say yeah, I mean, it would be, but I wanted to see a specific date in it, and maybe that's what we were talking about as of before, where there needed to be a certain time period for it. Originally, if I'm not mistaken, I believe in the Senate bill, it had a language in it that said that you had to wait for that 90-day period for that to come through. But that's, again, what I just needed to make sure that and check before we brought it back to the floor. And again, this is one second.
Okay, yes, Mr. Chairman, I
I'm
have.
going to recognize you for an amendment.
Thank you, yes.
Vice Chair.
Have an amendment. We're, if everyone look at line number 15, my amendment will be to add after 90 days, proper notice. I'm sorry, let's say after proper notice of 90 days as provided in this section. That's my amendment.
All right. Do you see the amendment? Everyone understand the amendment that's being requested?
Yes.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other questions on this bill? All right. Motion.
Yeah, my motion is titled sufficient to pass, strike all.
Motion is titled sufficient to pass, strike all. All those in favor? Any opposed? Go ahead and report that bill out. All right. House Bill 1466 is the seafood labeling bill. This is something that the department has been working on. This is a proposed strike all. And we made a change. It's on. All right. The commission is still working on, or with all parties involved on this. They do have another meeting next week. But at this current time, the difference between the strike all that we have here in the House bill was that on line 90, it said that our bill says that it can be affixed either to the cover of the menu or the same page of the seafood or crawfish items that are sold. So it's a little bit different than what the original bill said. And then the second thing was to do with grocery stores to make sure that it was easier labeling for grocery stores. And yeah, this bill should have a reverse repealer in it. And we're looking at this right now and it doesn't have the reverse repealer in this. So I'm going to recognize my vice chair to put the reverse repealer back in.
So moved.
All right, so the motion is to put reverse repealer back in. All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Any opposed? Back on the main bill? Mr.
Mr. Chairman, I just have one quick question. We passed this labeling bill under a lot of pressure just last year. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, now we're here making changes to that bill and still working on it. Is that right?
Yeah, we're still working on it. It's a work in progress because of all of the stakeholders that have been participating with the department to make sure that this is a better product or a better bill to help consumers understand what they're purchasing and what is available in the state of Mississippi.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad we're doing that. I know the legislature's always been willing to work with all parties and trying to get something right. Thank you.
Yeah, and like I said, the commissioner is going to have a meeting next week to go through this as well and try to get some additional responses back from those decision
Chairman.
makers. Are there any other questions?
Question.
Mr. Chairman, on line 7 of the title, if we could get a grammatical change done from county to country. 7 of the title. On the back page.
All right. Do we need to add that to the amendment as well? We'll make that amendment real quick to make line 7.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I can make the amendment as Senator Seymour brought up to change the word county in line 7 of the short title to country.
All right. No, everybody understand it? All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, now we're back on the bill.
Question.
There's a question by,
Mr.
go ahead, Senator.
Mr. Chairman, the House bill and the strike all each add a new what I consider a new designation: imported, exported, domestic, imported, and then alternatively country of origin. What led to that? In some ways, I don't understand the distinction, because if it's a country of origin other than the US, it's going to be imported, or somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. So where is that coming from?
give it to you 1 second.
And to put another way, what is the point of the country of origin if we're having an imported designation?
I'm not exactly sure why that is done that way, but do you want the general to answer that real quick? He's right there behind you.
Yes, that would be great.
I recognize General Spraggins. If you would, walk up and speak into the microphone.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I think what we're referencing that is some labels, whenever I say labels, we're not talking about the menus, but some menus they do, if they have a country and say it's some Argentine type fish that they would like to advertise it being Argentine fish, that they could be able to do that. And that way you wouldn't have to put import on it. And the other thing is when we get into the situation of the grocery stores, the KULAC comes in, which does have, it requires the country of origin. And that's what it amounts to, is what they're looking at.
Ma'am, so if you know, is that because maybe there's a quote negative connotation of imported, and then there's some things that like Brazilian fish or something like that rings more true? That's my first question. And then the other is, so you're saying to put the origin on there in lieu of saying imported?
That is true. And it was to give it, the whole idea was to let the consumer know what they were getting. And it either is it domestic or is it imported? And if it has a country of origin, it's in another country other than the United States, and obviously that would be the situation. And and this came from the Restaurant Association, asked us to be able to do this because of some of the things, just like a Chilean bass or whatever, a lot of times they want to put that on there, and that would just have to put something else out beside it.
So if I, excuse me, as I read it, it says as an alternative to domestic or imported. So if they just put
Chilean.
Argentinian fish or whatever, then that satisfies labeling as it coming from somewhere else. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, and this is still a strike all. All right, the motion will be top.
Yeah, motion, title suspension do pass, strike all.
All right, all those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? All right. We have one more bill to take up. We're pressed on time at this moment, but this is an important bill regarding the oyster reefs. We will adjourn or recess, excuse me. We will recess until immediately after we get out of our session. We'll come back down here and knock this out real quick. All right, so we'll go ahead and just recess right now. Thank you.
Y'all please leave your packets where they are. Can y'all do that? Leave your packets where they are. We'll come right back. Okay. All right. Okay. Take this one.